Hello everyone, this is Rugio Duelis. I am back once again with another video. This time I will be doing yet another Floowandereeze Deck Profile / list. So this time it's more of the same but also a little bit different. True story. Decided to do a little bit, let's just say things slightly different this time. I chose not to post a video until at least I can like win or top multiple tournaments at least in locals, compared to last time where I just kept like, okay, second place, third place, you know, won. But this time it's like I literally won, I believe, like 2 to 3 weeks in a row with the deck, and I came in, I believe so I topped twice and I won the third time. So that's like, I believe I came in like 5th place in one tournament. Next week I came in I believe in 4th place the following week, and the next week after that I actually won the whole thing. So let's get started. I did use different text in the side deck, as well as the my apologies, the side deck and the extra deck. So those were the only changes. Besides that, the main deck is more so the same in all 3 of those tournaments. Anyway, let's get to it. Let's get started. One at a time, of course. So starting off with the main deck, of course, we have 2 copies of Floowandereeze and N-Pen. You know, good old boy N-Pen, our boss monster. The guy that allows us to win the duel eventually. I mean, depends on how you look at it. But again, he's the boss monster of the deck. He's the floodgate. Good old Emperor Penguin here. All right, let's move on. Then we are playing triple copies of Eaglin. You guys know what Eaglin does. Searches for N-Pen. Also searches for Mega Raiza or Apex Avion. Basically any big bird. Standard for Floowandereeze. Next up, triple Rabina. So Rabina searches for itself as well as Eaglin or any of the other little birds, for any bird that's level 4 or lower. And you know, as a 3 of course. Those 2 cards are kind of like the heart and soul of the deck. They make everything else happen for the most part. Next up, I truly do believe that 1 copy of this card is what most people are running. It used to be between 1 and 2, but I sincerely believe that 1 off of this guy is more than enough. 1 copy of Stree. So Stree banishes 1 card from either your opponent or your graveyard, and then it allows us to normal summon. It's great for getting rid of like a future combo pieces that your opponent has in the graveyard. Also, like maybe for banishing a spell or a trap that we might need for later, like the Floowandereeze field spell, quick play spell, and the trap card, or even the continuous spell. So yeah, you guys already know what Stree does if you've been watching this channel. Next up, 1 copy of Toucan. Of course, Toucan is the one that most people play as a one-off, of course. It's rare, but I have seen profiles that have played him at 2, but that's up to personal preference. You know, good old Toucans brings back our N-Pen from the banish pile, as well as any spell or trap that's banished. Now, that's it for the Floowandereeze monsters. That's 10 of them. On to the next monsters. We are playing 1 Mega Raiza. I am not playing Apex Avion in this deck anymore. I could, but I feel like I really don't need it. Plus, I figured with these last 3 tournaments where I've been, plus other tournaments where, unfortunately, I did not manage to top, but I did manage but I've been keeping my eyes open, and really the deck still, full disclosure, I don't mean to like shit on the deck or anything. I freaking love it. It's literally my favorite deck right now in the format, but the deck will break 20 to 10% of the time, so I decided to like strictly have the deck be at 3 big birds and no more, no less than that. So again, just 1 Mega Raiza to disrupt the opponent's play. Again, all up to personal preference, but people can play the Apex Avion if they want to. A good Omni Negate is good, but honestly, with the way things are right now in the format, it's not that necessary. Your opponent can just start Ruler No More, and you guys know the rest. If you know, for those of you who can play competitive Yu-Gi-Oh! And have been keeping up with the meta. Moving on from that, we are main decking Double Barrier Statue. Yes, the card is annoying, I know. A lot of people don't like it. I main deck 2. And here's the thing, I honestly think this is the way to go. Main decking 2 is just perfect. An idea for those players who love the deck. So you let your opponent destroy the first one, or let's say he's about to go into battle. You activate the trap card, you do combo, and you summon a second one, or maybe during main phase 2, once your opponent pops the first one. So in main phase 2, you might want to activate the trap and then just go from there, and then don't let your opponent play the game. It's annoying. It probably should get banned. I like it, of course. It's a great floodgate monster, but a lot of people don't like it. A lot of people say that the deck, that's the deck's win con, but every deck has a win con. You know, combo decks, all of that. You guys know how it works. And finally, we only need one hand trap for this deck. Triple D Shifter, aka Dimension Shifter. Yes, I know, he's also annoying, but he's also part of our win con. I no longer play hand traps. This is the only hand trap that this deck needs, my honest opinion. But again, those of you who like the deck, you're welcome to use whatever version of the deck you want. Now let's go on to the spells. We are playing triple Floowandereeze in the Magnificent Map, aka the field spell. Of course, another great combo piece in the deck. You need to play 3, no less. Then 1 copy of Floowandereeze and the Unexplored Winds, aka the continuous spell. You can bump this up to 2. I would not recommend it, but if you have like an idea and in your heart you know the card's not going to break for you, it's awesome. If you see this try to get this card as soon as possible. It's magnificent, letting you draw 2, letting you tribute your opponent's spells and traps, as well as or monsters, depending on the situation. Just godly. The card's godly. All right, moving on. Triple copies of Floowandereeze and the Advent of Adventure, the quick play spell. Another great card in the deck, searches for the field spell or any bird in your deck, as long as you banish 1 from hand or field. Again, you need this. This goes at 3 as well, just like the field spell. All right, continuing on with the spells. This card, I hate to admit it, but this card needs to get hit on the ban list. 3 copies of Pot of Prosperity. It's just too good and too generic. Just banish 6 from your extra deck, whichever one you want, and have access to the top 6 cards of your deck and pick one and get your combo piece started. It's just too good. If it were up to me, I would want it to stay at 3, but it might get hit. I don't know. Who knows? But I love it. It's just way too good, the card. If they decide to hit it on the upcoming ban list, which I hope they throw soon, well, it is what it is. Moving on, of course, the other Pot of Prosperity, aka the old pot card from the good old like Synchro/Xyz era, I believe. Pot of Duality. You have to play 3 as well. You want to get to your cards as soon as possible, and this card facilitates that. If Pot of Prosperity gets hit, well, Duality is there to help you out. Continuing on with the spells, I main deck one of this because this card saves us from hand traps. I hear people saying that this card should get banned. If it were up to me, I would want it back to 3 or even 2, but everyone has their right to say their opinions on the card. Me, I like it. As long as I can use it, that's fine for me. If it gets hit, well, it is what it is. All right. Like I said before, I don't play any more hand traps. The only hand trap the deck needs is Dimension Shifter, as far as I'm concerned. So I am now main decking this, of course. For those of you who play competitive Yu-Gi-Oh!, this card just destroys boards right now. With the decks like Sprite and Tier Elements running around, you need this. You really need this. I'm sure some of you are aware of the Megatins, 2022 Megatins. This card comes as an ultra rare, but there's also the structure deck common rarities. So get your hands on this card as soon as possible. For those of you who like Yu-Gi-Oh!, this card is a must-have in this format, and something tells me it's going to be kind of obligatory for the future of Yu-Gi-Oh! In like at least these upcoming 6 to 9 months, guaranteed. All right. After that, we also play the new board breaker card, Ultimate Slayer. I'm playing 2. So here's the thing. I was main decking 3 of this and 3 Dark Ruler No More in one of the tournaments, but I feel like it breaks more often than not. Dark Ruler No More is still the better board breaker, but this is definitely a close second. So I decided to cut one off and just main deck 2, because I feel it kind of breaks. I think to me it kind of breaks at 3. I think 2 main deck is perfect ratio. I actually side deck the 3rd one, more on that a little bit later, but the card is nuts. It's against Tier Elements, this just breaks boards. Sprite, not so much, but Tier Elements, oh, this card is godly if you open it up going second. All right, the last of the spells, we are main decking double copies of Cosmic Cyclone, and here's why. I do not want to get hit with an anti-spell going second. I do not want to get hit by any Tikaboo / There Can Be Only One, Goes in Match, any of those floodgates, none of that. And that's why this card is main deck. I've had situations in the last few months where I just got hit by Floodgates going first and I auto lose, and I was like, no more. I need to main deck back row. Also, Mystic Mine. Mystic Mine is running around, and I know a lot of people want that card banned, so I main deck 2 of this. So there was this moment, in one of the tournaments where I believe I managed to get top 5/4. My opponent was playing Mystic Mine Exodia, and I 2-0'd him just by having this and the continuous spell card. So, yeah. I have no intention of losing to Floodgates going first, so I main deck 2. Now on to the traps. I only main deck 3. Of course, Floowandereeze in the Dreaming Town, which is the trap card that basically lets you play on your opponent's turn, our turn. Some people main deck 2. I have not tested 2 yet. I think 2 copies of the barrier statue is more than enough, and this at 1 of is okay. I may play test with it later, but I think 1 works good enough for me at the moment. And the final 2 trap cards the final 2 main deck trap cards of the deck. Evenly match. Yes, this has helped a lot. I might bump this up to 3 maybe in the future, but this card right now in this format, I don't think people talk about it too much. People talk about Dark Ruler No More more so than any other board breaker card in the game. Also, they mention Ultimate Slayer and others, but they're not mentioning even Raw Sphere mode, or even Lava Golem, but they're not mentioning this enough. Like, this card, just bait out your opponent's negations if you don't have Dark Ruler No More with the best of your abilities, of course. Play this and just break their board apart. And you might be able to have game next turn. Most of the time, not all the time, but Extra deck. Zeus package, Downer Magician, and Lyrillus Temple Nightingale, aka Zeus package. Lyrillus Promenade Thrush. This is also kind of like part of the Zeus package. I use this card to like destroy back row. It hasn't come up yet. 1 Linkuriboh, in case we need to special summon and dodge an attack. Then 1 Underworld Goddess of the Close World. If our opponent summons an unaffected monster, we can just summon this. There are ways to do it. It's a little bit tricky, but you can do it. And it can happen because Mathmech is another deck running around. They summon that Synchro monster that's unaffected by everything. So this card is kind of like a must-have in the extra deck. And the other 9 cards in the extra deck are basically Ultimate Slayer targets. You guys know Omega's at once. You guys know what it does. Prima Donna, you send it to the graveyard. I believe it like targets a banished card and shuffles it into the deck. Maybe one of your Floowandereeze combo pieces or a card that you might need for later. Just bring it back to the deck. Might be useful for later. One knows. When Pegasus at Ignister, I think it's the best like synchro target for the Ultimate Slayer. Double Entis to pop cards. Garura, best fusion monster in the game right now, as far as I'm concerned. Fairjit and Omen. This one draws 1 and lets you put 1 back into the bottom of the deck. This one searches for a bird if a bird is banished. And finally, final target, the 1 card that's probably the best target for Xyz monsters, which is Toad. We are getting another Xyz monster that has an effect when it's into the graveyard, I believe in the upcoming core set, which is Darkwing Blast. All right. And finally, for the side deck, let's get the obvious one out of the way. The 3rd copy of Ultimate Slayer, like I mentioned. I also side in the 3rd copy of Cosmic Cyclone because back row, we don't like back row. We just don't. Then we are main decking, like before, a lot of these, like you guys have seen before in my previous deck profiles. 1 Heartbeast Feather Duster and 1 Red Reboot. Again, no back row allowed against this deck. This is new. I'm testing it out. It has worked sometimes. Other times it hasn't worked. Most of the time it kind of doesn't. I might cut it out, but I still believe this card is good. The 1 Macrocosmos, this card is limited, so again, more often than not, it has not worked. I might cut it, but if you resolve it and your opponent doesn't have back row removal, it's just so good. And now, moving on from that, this card that does not allow the opponent to play the game, Heartbeast Featherstorm. You have Eaglin, Toucan, Empen, or the Barrier Statue, or Mega Raiza. You flip this. They can't play the game for that turn. You might have game. You might have a guaranteed game once you do combo next turn. And we are playing this for tier elements. It works also against sprites, shadow, imprisoning mirror. You flip this against tier elements, they are done. They are done. Against sprite, if they start up with a sprite blue and sprite jet, which are the monsters that search, which is one that searches the monster, the secret rare, the other one, the super, I believe, searches for spells and traps. You flip this against this. If they don't have like a way to go into totally awesome or a different way to combo off, you might stun them that turn. Great card. I honestly, I don't think I'm cutting this out. This card is just way too good to have a floodgate. Did not feel bad about adding this to my side deck. It's just awesome. And finally, the final 4 cards of the side deck. I am playing the Simorgh package, but although I'm using it slightly differently. This is new for me because I haven't used the Simorgh package that much, but I'm using it differently. As you can see, I'm playing 3 of the Bird Perfection, but I'm also playing the Trap. I'm not playing the spell. So Simorgh Sky Battle, everything else here does not matter. The only thing that matters is the first effect. Once you flip this, your opponent cannot target or attack winged beast monsters other than the monster with the highest attack, aka in this case, this guy or Empen if you have Empen on the field. So if your opponent tries to attack or target the barrier statue, you flip this and it's like, yeah, there's nothing you can do. You can't target or attack my barrier statue, and I have game. Again, of course, unless they have back remover like a hand trap or like they know how to navigate the lines of play very well. But I'm testing this out. So far, it's okay. Kind of like Macrocosmos, like 50% of the time it works. Other times, maybe not so much. We'll continue to play Yu-Gi-Oh! We'll continue to play test this deck. That is all for today. I hope you guys liked the video. Moving forward, I want to do more deck profiles, but I also don't want to do the usual, okay, I topped here, I won this. That's why it took me a little bit of a while to make this video, because, again, I want to do something different. Like, the same old will just bore people. I want to create good content. I want to evolve, of course, as a Yu-Gi tuber here. Not the best, not the worst, but just doing the best that I can at the moment. I will be doing an opening of the 2022 Megatins in a few weeks. I'll open at least like 1 tin. Let's see what we can pull. I already saw all the cards that are there. I'm very excited. I cannot wait for the 2022 Megatins. I've been waiting for these like tins since they announced that the whole like tablet of lost memories from the anime. I was so excited for these tins because this is like the final one in the trilogy. Well, that is it for today. Hope you guys enjoyed this. And play if you can. Have a wonderful day. And happy dueling, everyone.